So then this is the easy question that Mwalimu is doing. I mean, all of us in this case here should be very comfortable with WACC, because in most cases you will get it in your exam, whether you like it or not. It shall be there in your exams. It shall be there in your exams. So then here we are. Here we are. Thank you. So this is the question. It's a financial management question that was tested a long time ago, May 2014, question number 4B. So always start by reading the requirement. So the requirement, using market values. Always, the examiner should not even lead us like this. We shall always use market values while calculating WACC of any company, of Ungana Limited, So then let's get fast here and get to comprehend this. So we are told, ladies and gentlemen, May 2014, question number 4B, the following is the capital structure of Ungana Limited. So we have ordinary share capital. They've given us ordinary share capital. I can see 80 million. Preference share capital, I can see the par value there, vis-a-vis 35 million. Debentures, 27 million. The shareholders of Ungana Limited expects earnings and dividends to grow at a constant rate of 5% into the future. The company has just paid a dividend of 4.00 per share. We are told here the current market price of one ordinary share of Ungana Limited is Kenya shillings 80. So they're giving us the current market price of one ordinary share of Ungana Limited to be 80. The treasury bonds yield 12%. The return on the market is 14%. The company's beta is 1.5. And then they're telling us here, note number 4, the new preference shares can be sold at shillings 120 per share with a dividend of shillings 12 per share and a flotation cost of shillings 6 per share. Number 5, the corporation tax rate is 30%. Then 6, the company pays out all its dividends, earnings as dividends. Note number 7, the company will sell 12% debentures with a maturity of 10 years. So remember, this is a debenture with maturity period. So it's what we call redeemable debentures. Redeemable, you know, we have irredeemable and redeemable. So this is for redeemable. So the maturity period there is 10 years at shillings 90 per debenture. The par value of the debenture is shillings 100. So ladies and gentlemen, when I get this kind of a question, I will be able to get all the marks without even knowing what I'm doing. So the very first thing you do is to copy this table down the way it is. So you copy down that table the way it is. So I can see we have here ordinary share capital. We have here share capital. We have here share capital. All right. I have another capital structure component called the preference share capital. You simply copy it the way it is. Preference share capital. And then lastly, we have debentures. We have debentures. So how much do I have there? I have a column of shillings. I have a column of shillings there, ladies and gentlemen. The first one, which is ordinary share capital, is 80 million. I can write this in thousands, shillings thousands. Then we have, in this case here, preference share capital. Preference share capital is 35,000. 35,000. Debentures, we have 27,000. Debentures, we have 27. That is the first thing that you do. The very first thing, ladies and gentlemen, that you do is to come here and simply copy this table the way it is. Remember the figures that you have here, they are called book values. These are those values in your capital structure which are on your financial report. So they are called book values. So I would want to get straight away market values. How do I get market value? It's very easy. To get market value, if it is this particular, for example, share capital, I would want to get the nose. How do I get the nose? First of all, nose stands for number of what year? Number of ordinary shares. Nose. How do we get this nose? Number of ordinary shares. It's very easy. You simply take the share capital, you divide this by the par value. You take the share capital and divide this by what here, somebody? By the par value. You take share capital, you divide this by the par value. So then what I'm going to do, it doesn't have to be just in terms of ordinary shares. Every financial instrument that you are seeing their book value, For you to be able to convert these two, market values, you need to come and divide these things here by the par value. That is the first thing that you do. Look for the par values. Fortunately, this examiner was very nice. He came and gave us the par values. You can see in this case here, par value. Par value, which is the same as nominal value. Par value, you can see all these instruments, par value are what here, 100, 100, 100. So ladies and gentlemen, from there, so come here and divide in this case here, this by 100. Everything here divided by 100. So from there, then what do I do? Now I have number of shares. Once I have number of shares, what I'll need to convert now this to market values, I need, for instance, their current market prices. If it is ordinary share capital, do I know the current market price of each ordinary share? Do I know the current market price of each ordinary share? Let's check these out. So we go slowly now in the notes here. Like here we are told, the shareholders of Ungana Limited expect blah, 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 blah. Look at note 2. The current market price of one ordinary share of Ungana Limited is 80. So at least I have the current MPS. So multiply this with the current MPS. For ordinary shares, I don't have a problem. This is 80. Again, on the same breath, look for the market price of a preference share. Do we have market price of a preference share? So just to be keen here, this is about treasury bonds. Look at note 4. New preference shares can be sold at 120. I can see blah, blah, blah in terms of dividends. The most important thing that I'm after at the moment is the market price of each preference share, the current market price of each preference share, whose value I can see is 120, whose value I can see is 120, whose value I can see it's 120. And then now we have debentures. Debentures, what is the current cost of the debentures? What is the current market price per debenture? If you come here, note number 5, the corporation tax, the company pays out all blah, 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 blah. 7, the company will sell 12% debentures with a maturity of 10 years at shillings 90. I'm interested in the selling price of a debenture. The current selling price of a debenture is 90, here. So this 90 here, So 90, so in this case, you'll come and put 90 here. So do we have some good students who are able to give us these values, ladies and gentlemen? So now these are the market values. Is there somebody who can give us these market values pretty fast? How I wish my BDA students were able to swing in, because they're using Excel and they give us these values very fast. So like from Keziah, we have 64,000, also from Monderi, 64,000. For the market value of ordinary share capital is 64,000. How about preference share capital? Preference share capital being given 42,000. How about the market value of the debentures? So debentures 24,300. Debentures 24,300. So up to here, ladies and gentlemen, I would want in this case here to take a roll call and know for sure whether we are still on the same line. Are we moving with this together, or am I on my own world? Are we moving together? Okay, I can see so many yeses here. Please feel free to ask questions. Of course, I would be interested in getting the total market value. So if I'm a BDA student, I will be able in this case straight away to open the total. I say alt equals. I get this total very fast because I'm interested in getting the total market value of my capital structure. So we have here 130,300. 130,300. So out of this, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be able to get proportions or what we call the weights. So then how do I get these weights? Like if it is this, I will take 64,000 divided by the total. I write a weight there, if possible, in many decimal places. All right. So if I'm the one doing this in Excel, I will say 64,000 divided by 1,300. And because this 1,300 is a constant thing, I must lock it up. I must lock it up. So that when I drag this thing down, I'm able to get, in this case here, this thing formula being applied down. The BDA students, I'm so sure we have discussed this severally, and we don't have a problem with the permanent fixing of a number. Because you see, this number will be used here, it will be used there, it will be used here. So I need to know how to permanently fix it. Permanently fix it. So is there somebody who knows how do we permanently fix this in Excel? For you guys, AFM guys, you shouldn't be rather 100%. I like that. F4, yes. F4, yes. So could you kindly then give me this in 4 decimal places? 4 decimal places will suffice. 4 decimal places. The first one. Let's read the first one together. The first one together. The first one here. 4 decimal places. I'm looking for this 4 decimal places. I'm looking for these 4 decimal places. Abracadabra. What do I have here? 4 decimal places. Abracadabra. 4912. So 0.4912. How about preference share capital, the weight? How about the weight? 0.3223. 0.3223. 3223. And then lastly, we have this 24,300 divided by 130,300, giving us what here? 1865. 1865. 0.1865. 0.1865. So for our young ones, like I've seen, we have ATD students here. What I've done to get these proportions, like if it is this number, I divided this number by what? I divided this number by this 130. And then I used my calculator. The same case, I divided this number by 130,300. I also did the same here by 130,300. That's what we did to get these proportions that we are calling what here? That we are calling the weights. To get these proportions that we are calling weights. That we are calling weights. All right. Then if we are together up to here, I will wrap this section, but I'll leave my weights column standing. My weights column standing. I will leave my weights column standing. I will leave my weights column standing. So after this, we know that the next thing for us to do is to look for the cost, because how do we normally get WACC? How do we normally get this WACC, WACC? To get WACC, we normally take weight of equity, cost of equity, weight of preference shares, cost of preference shares, plus weight of debt, cost of debt. Remember, debt is the only one that is tax allowable. So debt is the only one that is tax allowable. So then we shall be able to come and say here KD into 1 minus what here? Into 1 minus tax. Preference dividends are not tax allowable. Equity, ordinary shareholders dividends, which is the cost of equity, not tax allowable. So then I've been able to take care of the weights. Now what I need to do is to come and get these cost components. So we start with the cost of equity. We start with cost of equity. Cost of equity. Cost of equity. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this cost of equity, we are looking at dividends. And whenever, ladies and gentlemen, I hear of this dividends thing, cost of equity thing, I will always remember our deputy president. Our deputy president. Our deputy president in this case is the man of what year dividends, is the man of what year Kenya being a company of who? Shareholders. So anytime I remember this, I will always remember dividend valuation model, DVM, dividend valuation model. Dividend valuation model is the Gashagua's model. And if you remember very well, Gashagua's model, we normally say provincial officer equals a district officer who has to grow. This gentleman really grew. He really grew. Remember, he used to be a district officer. He never became here. He jumped. He never became a provincial officer. So this district officer into 1 plus growth rate, because he has to grow all over Kenya without government. All over Kenya without government. Can you kindly write this formula? And remember, you're only using this as an example here in class for you to remember this thing forever. It's called dividend valuation model, which was discovered by Gordon. Dividend valuation model. So the thing of Gachagua is just for you guys to remember. All right? It's for you guys to remember. There is nothing like Gachagua's model. I would only want you to remember that anytime you see dividend valuation model, you will be able to remember very well that we have. All right. So then this is very good. So in this particular case, Is there somebody who knows what this PO stands for? Is there somebody who knows what, O is today, O is current. So whenever you see this PO, then this becomes the current market price per share. Current market price per share. The current market price per share. How about this DO? DO is current dividend per share. Please write them down. DO is current because of O. Current dividend per share. Current dividend per share. And then we have this G. This G stands for what here? Growth rate. G stands for growth rate. G stands for growth rate. And then we have this KE standing for what here? Cost of equity. We have KE standing for cost of who? Cost of equity. Cost of equity. Have you been able to write these terminologies here in full? Have you been able to write them in full? Please don't write them as provincial officer. Don't write them as provincial officer. No. That is just for our memory boosting. So we have in this case, ladies and gentlemen, PO. PO, of course, is provincial officer. No, is O. O is current. Current market price per share. DO. Current dividend per share. G is growth rate of dividends. KE is cost of what? Your cost of equity. Then I would want you to do me a favor. I would want you to go ahead and make cost of equity the subject of the formula from this. Please go ahead and give us the cost of equity as the subject of the formula. Go ahead and give us the cost of equity, make it the subject of the formula. So if you make this cost of equity, I'll cross multiply. I will have here PO times into bracket the whole of this, KE minus G equals the whole of the numerator here, which is DO into 1 plus G, into 1 plus G. So, in mathematics, I can comfortably treat this. I don't have to open brackets. I can comfortably treat this as one number. And I can, in this case here, come and divide this by PO like that. So that this and this will cancel out. So what do you mean, Mwalimu here? There is something I would want to understand, Mwalimu here. Please allow me to bring this out alone. So it will be KE minus G equals DO into 1 plus G all over what here? PO. All over PO. All right. And then now take this G to the other side. When it crosses on the other side, it has to change sign so that our KE will be equal to DO into 1 plus G all over PO. This term is remaining the way it was. The only thing that I'm doing is to take G the other side, and I'll be able to have G as a standalone like that. As a standalone like that. So this is cost of equity. Cost of equity. Remember, right now, we are getting cost of equity. Of course, we shall not be deriving in our exams. In our exams, we shall be required, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, to just remember this formula. But again, remember, these shares, you're going to float them in the market. You're going to sell them. When you sell them in the market, there will be underwriters. There'll be people who will be willing to take the risk on your behalf of selling these shares. They'll be able to advertise and do so many things. There will be investment bankers. So these guys, of course, must give you a haircut. A haircut. They'll not give you all this money here. If they're selling it for 100 today, they can't give you all this money here. They have to chop something small. They have to chop something small. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, when you want to get cost of equity, remember that in some cases, there could be flotation costs to basically cut the hair, to basically reduce this PO. So that is a formula that I would want to sell to you here today. This is a very, very important formula. Actually, if I were you, in the spirit of Gashagwa, I would have straight away highlighted this like in Excel. You can write this very well. And then you use a yellow highlighter. Use a yellow highlighter. Use a yellow highlighter. Let me give, in this case here, a student of Excel, a student who is doing BDA, who knows how to format their work very well. Let me give them a present. Do we have, in this case here, a student that I would want to share with? Somebody that I can give 500 shillings right now. Please share your screen. If your work is very well formatted, then we should be able to give you 500 right away. Up to where we have reached. I want to see a student whose work is very well formatted. We give them a present. So please share your screen without fearing anybody. I mean, why should you fear? Are you seeing myself fearing? Not fearing anybody. I can see you guys are 120, but I'm teaching like I'm teaching one student. I mean, I don't fear. Anybody who is able to share their screen, they get a small token of appreciation. A small token of appreciation, just to show us like this is what we've been able to write. Like that big table there. I would just want to see whether there is anybody who is able to share their screen. And then they get, in this case here, present. Who is that who is taking home 500? Or do I increase the amount a little bit? No, I'm not increasing. 500 is still good enough. If you are in town with 500, you can easily get a very good cup of coffee. Is there anybody who is doing BDA who is willing to share their screen? I'm calling out for this for the very last time because I would want to give out a present. I want to see how they're writing this thing. Abracadabra. I'm giving 2 minutes because I'm so sure there are students who are very good in formatting. Abracadabra. Abracadabra. We are overcoming. 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 1 minute gone. I'm waiting. 607. We have them losing the present. So in this case here, we have like this student. So you can see number one, the student has been able to take the question as a Word document, and they have been able to print it there, to paste it there very well. And you can see in this case here, they have market value weights. You can see in this case here, they have the formula there very well. What is the name of this student? This is Gloria Mogere. Gloria Mogere. All right. All right. Do we have anybody who would want to compete with Gloria? Anybody who would want to compete with Gloria? So we have Kenneth Njoroge. Kenneth Njoroge. Just open Excel. All right. Very good. Very good. I can see your colors are very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right. All right. A third person, the last person in this case here to make the Florence. Florence. I can see Florence. He has that yellow thing. So very good. So very good. Thank you very much. Now you can pull it down. You can now pull this down. So between the three, who wins my present? Between the three, you guys vote for Gloria. We have this boy child. Who wins? Who wins in this case here? Who wins? Who wins in this case here? Who wins? Who is the overall? So Gloria, I also accept. You are the overall winner. So Gloria, you are the overall winner. Gloria, give me your number. We act right now. Give me your number there. Gloria, are you able to give me your number very fast, please? Gloria, we act. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Nobody else is writing anything there, so that I can write. I can send Gloria. I can send Gloria her present. And being a baby girl, I should add something small. I should add something small. You know, ladies wako na kazi mingi sana. 0714. Wako na kazi mingi sana. Unapata like they told me some time back here, that there are some ladies who are in our classes, ladies and gentlemen, who have like 2-month-old kids. 2-month-old kids. 2-month-old kids. Not 2 years, but 2 months. So these guys are really, really getting out of their way to do wonderful things, to be in class. Ongeza ya fe. We shall overcome. You see, like now mine is a month old. Check that. See that. And they're studying with us. They're studying with us. Thank you so much. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. So then let's get this cost of equity, given that now we have all the information. We have all the information, ladies and gentlemen. DO is the current dividend. DO is the current dividend. So the current dividend, what do we have here? We are told the shareholders of Ungana Limited expect earnings and dividends to grow at a constant rate of 5% in the future. So the growth rate has been given as 5%. The company has just paid. So this is a current dividend, has just paid a dividend of 4. So then we are told here that DO is 4. DO is 4, and the growth rate is 5. You see, 5% is the same as 0.05. How about PO? Now I'm only looking for PO because here I need 3 items. So in this particular case, the PO, we are told the current market price of one ordinary share is 80. PO is for the ordinary share. So in this case here, we have 80. We have 80 like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, In this case here, then I should be able to come and plug in the values here. I just need to come and plug in the values here. So we know in this case here that our DO is 4 into 1 plus growth rate. Growth rate is 0.05 all over. PO has been given here as 80. We do not have any flotation cost in this question. No flotation cost in this question. And then now I need to come and add the growth rate there. I need to come and add the growth rate here again. Please don't forget this growth rate, which is independent. Abracadabra 0.05. So using your calculators, then you should be able to give us this answer. Using your calculators, you should be able to give us this answer. So this is how I will do it. This is how I will do it on. I'll come and say 4 times, open brackets. We have 1 plus 0.05 close equals. I divide, of course, this by 80. I don't have to put brackets here for the denominator because it's only one number. I know minus 0 will still leave me with 80. So I divide this with 80. And then whatever I get, I'll come and say plus. Don't forget to add that growth rate. So in this particular case, ladies and gentlemen, what figure are you able to get? What figure are you able to get? They're not giving me answers here. I can see new messages here. 10.25, thank you very much. 10.25, thank you very much. 0.1025, so 10.25%. 10.25%. That is very good. That's very good. Now, if you allow then Mwalimu, I should be able to go and pick up the next question, the next item. Remember, we have got 3 cost components. We have 3 cost components. So we happen to be having, ladies and gentlemen, we happen to be having what here? We happen to be having the cost of equity. Now I'm looking for the cost of preference shares. Cost of preference shares. So abracadabra, cost of preference shares. What do I have? You guys will remind me these figures. Cost of preference shares. So in this case here, cost of preference shares, you write in full. Cost of preference shares, if you're using Excel, I expect, of course, to see students using different color for the titles, even in exams. So cost of preference shares. So we have here KP. So of course here I'll be getting dividend. Here I can't talk of like D1, DO. No. Remember, preference shares, ladies and gentlemen, they don't have growth rate. Preference shares, these are fixed dividend financial instruments. So the dividend is ever fixed. You can actually write here div like that. You divide this by what here, somebody? You divide this by the market price of preference shares, If there is any flotation, you subtract flotation because you will get a haircut from the market. There must be, in this case here, people who are willing to sell for you, but of course they must take a commission. So then, ladies and gentlemen, in this question, is there somebody who is able to see that dividend in shillings? Is there anybody who is able to see from this question, dividend in shillings? Dividend, the current dividend. So in terms of preference shares, they've told us here, new preference shares can be sold at 120. You see, this is the selling price with a dividend of what here, 12 per share. But we happen to be having a flotation cost of 6. So we have here new preference shares. The dividend is 12. That is going to remain the same, no growth rate. So I will take 12 over 120, but this 120 is getting a shave. There. So I'll talk of 12. 12 constant, all over market price per share of this preference capital, 120, but there is a flotation cost. Whatever I get, I will multiply with 100. Whatever I get, I will come and multiply this with 100. Whatever I get, I'll come and multiply this with 100. So Paul is giving me a figure of 10.53. Keziah, 10.53, 10.53, 10.53, 10.53%. Are they able to confirm this 10.53, all of them? 10.53, all of them. 10.53%, all of them. All right. Thank you so much, all of them. We are comfortable with this. We are comfortable with this. So after this, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be able to go to cost of what now here? Redeemable debentures. Cost of redeemable debentures. Cost of redeemable debentures. This is the most interesting one. Cost of redeemable. Not many people will be able to get this cost of redeemable debentures. Not many people. Not many people. Not many people will be able to get this. So cost of redeemable debentures. So we have you right here, cost of redeemable, cost of redeemable, debentures. So how have I known that they are redeemable? It's because we are given maturity period. We are given maturity period. Maturity period is 10 years. Maturity period here, you can see here. The company will sell 12% debentures with a maturity of 10 years at shillings 90 per debenture. The par value is 100. So you can see the maturity period has been provided. The maturity period here is 10 years. Because of that maturity being there, then automatically, ladies and gentlemen, this is a redeemable debenture. Remember, if it was irredeemable, or if it was like a normal bank loan, how do we get cost of a normal bank loan? I would have come here, don't write this please, but I would have just come here and taken the interest. The interest will be paying in Kenya shillings. And then of course I divide here by the market value of the bond. Market value of the bond, of the debenture. Debenture and bond are the same. Of course, there will be a flotation cost. And again, remember that interest is tax allowable. Interest is tax allowable. Would have done it like that. Very easy. Very easy. Allow me to explain something, ladies and gentlemen. If, for example, today I give you a debt of 1,000, and then I tell you when you're returning this money, return this money as 1,100. 1,100. It means automatically that the interest here is 100. It means automatically that the interest is what is 100. So if I would want to get this return for the bond holders, how do I get this return? I will look at this guy, Amin. This guy, Amin, is getting an interest of 100. Is getting an interest of 100. Out of how much have I given him? I had given him 1,000. This is how you simply, in this case here, explain these concepts here. That we are giving, for example, if it is even shares. I'm buying a Safaricom share today at 20. And then at the end of the year, they're giving me a dividend of 2. So to get the cost of this capital to Safaricom, you will take the dividend that they are paying, right? And then you divide by the market price that I paid to buy a share. But of course, for dividends now, there are those growth rates, etc. I'm just trying to simplify this. Even this, of course, at the end of the day, there will be the issue of what tax. So if it was a blanket question without any maturity period, then this is how I would have handled the cost of getting what here, the cost of getting this debt. But now, ladies and gentlemen, this one happens to be having a maturity period tagline. So it's redeemable. It's redeemable. And if it is redeemable, this is normally what we do for us to be able to get cost of what here, a redeemable debenture instrument. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if this is redeemable, redeemable, I will have two ways of gaining. I will have two ways of benefiting out of this bond. I will get interests every year, and then at the end of the day, there'll be what we call capital gain. I bought it for this much. I'm going to sell it at a higher price, So then, ladies and gentlemen, this is normally how I get my KD for redeemable bonds. So for redeemable bonds, I will come and take the interest amount. And then I'll come and take, in this case here, the capital gain. So the capital gain, what am I doing to get this capital gain? I will basically take the market value. The market value minus, in this case here, the par value. Market value or par value minus market value, depending on how you're looking at this. Like this question, the par value, it has to be positive. So we have par value is more. So par value minus the market value. So like I'm buying this bond at 90, and of course, during redemption, I'll get back the par. But you see, between market value and the par value, there is a big period in between. I'm buying this thing today for 90. I shall be given back 100, but after 10 years, after 10 years. That is why this capital gain, ladies and gentlemen, you must always come and divide this with what here? By N. To make it, in this case here, capital gain per year. Because interest, ladies and gentlemen, is what here? Is an annual interest. Is an annual interest. And then, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, I will come and divide this by this one here, the average. The average of this. So average, we are talking of, in this case here, par value plus market value. Whatever you get here, you divide by 2. Or you multiply, in this case here, with a half upfront. A half upfront. Now, please listen. Whatever answer I will get at the end of the day, I'll have to come and deduct taxation. So the whole of this will be multiplied with what here? Will be multiplied with 1 minus t. Because remember, KD is allowable in this case here for tax. Now, this is not a very heavy thing, really. It's not a very heavy thing. Because what we've done, ladies and gentlemen, is to take, in this case, like, how am I gaining from these debentures? As a debenture holder, I will be getting interest. That is the first win for me. The second win is that this debenture, redeemable debenture, is appreciating in value. So I'll have to get, in this case here, that appreciation, that growth. It's a 10-year growth. I would want that to be annualized. That's why we are dividing this with N. Of course, somebody will also say 1 over N. Same, 1 over N. All right. All over what we call the average investment. So average investment, we are taking, in this case here, the par value plus the market value. We divide this by what here? By 2. We divide this by 2. Let's move slowly here. 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 So what do we have, my great students here? What do we have, my great students here? What we have, my great students here, is this. You can see the company will sell 12% debenture with a maturity of 10 years. So my N is 10 there at 90. So this 90 is market value. 90 is market value. All right. And then the par value is 100. So I would want us to walk very slowly here. I would want somebody in this case here to give me the interest. What is the interest amount? What is the interest amount in this question? What is the interest amount in this question? What is the interest amount in this question? These guys are not talking to me at all. What is the interest amount in this question? What is the interest amount in this question? What is the interest amount in this question? The interest amount in this question. Remember, interest, ladies and gentlemen, is normally pegged on par. You take the percentage times par. Interest amount can never be pegged on market value, because market value will keep on changing, and we know that debenture holders normally get a fixed return. They normally get a fixed return. So it will be 12% of 100. Thank you so much. It will be 12% of 100. 12% of 100. All right. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see guys talking so much. So I'm calculating the interest amount. Oh, they are here. 12 years. So interest will be the coupon. The coupon interest amount will be the coupon, which is 12%, times the par. Never forget this, times the par. So it will be 12%. The par value has been given as 100. So this gives me 12 bob. This gives me 12 bob. Then now let's substitute then kindly here. Slowly to, pole to, hii hata ina diambo. Nikiturai sana, formula ya redemption. So in that case, then my KD will be equal to, the interest amount is 12. Plus in this case here, the par value of this debenture is exactly 100. The market value, which is the same as the market price for the debenture is 90. Market price for the debenture is 90. Whatever I will get, I will come and divide this, only this I will divide this by 10 years because n is 10. N is 10. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I will come here and take a half, which is the same as 0.5, into this per value plus market value, which is 90, like that. So later on, of course, they have given me 1 minus tax. I know I'll be multiplying all of this. I'll be multiplying all of this with 1 minus 0.3, with 1 minus 0.3, like that, which is 0.7, 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 0.7. So please move slowly. Then my KD, in this case here, will be equal to what? Abracadabra. Do I have a calculator? Do I have a calculator? Abracadabra. Do I have a calculator? Abracadabra. So abracadabra, we have here 12 plus, we have here open bracket 100 minus 90, close like that, divided by 10. So first of all, I'll get the numerator. I will get the numerator. Divided by, I say open bracket. I know in this case here that this will be 0.5 times, in this case here, 190. 190. Abracadabra, close. Then I say equals. So when I say equals, whatever answer I get, I'll come and say times 0.7. Times 0.7. So when I say SD, who is able to give me this answer? Is there somebody who is getting 0.0958 or something like that? Is that 8 or 0? They're very bright, these lights in the studio, very bright. So what are we getting there? 9.58. 9.58. So you're getting here 9.58%. We are getting 9.58%. And once we get this 9.58%, first of all, could you kindly, in this case here, appreciate yourselves? Appreciate yourselves wherever you are. Remember, we have these great revision books at RCM, like Financial Management Revision Kit. Very, very nice. And we have an offer. These books currently, they are going for 1,000. They're very good for revision because they have questions and what here? Questions and answers. Questions and answers. You need to buy them, especially this time around during your revision, for you to complement your studies here. If you wish really to procure those books and any of our online classes, of course, you know we are an online college, then you need to do what here to join us and make inquiries here. 0793 555 000. 0793 555 000. I have it. Great. Thank you very much. And of course, there is a lot of light here. They can't see this very well. I wish I'd written it here. 0793 555 000, like that. 0793 555 000. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We need you to be a member of RCM family. RCM family. RCM family. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I happen to be having everything that I wish for me to be able to get this WACC. And to get this WACC, my WACC will be equal to weight of equity, cost of equity, plus weight of preference shares, cost of preference shares, into weight of debt, cost of debt, after taxation, like that. So is there somebody who can give me these weights? Like I remember weight of equity was 0.49, 12. Could you kindly, in this case here, give me the cost of equity? Kindly give me the cost of equity here. Please remind me, because already we had obtained this, the cost of equity in form of percentage. I know we have this value. I know 10.25, thank you very much. So 10.25% plus weight of preference, we got this as 0.3223 times cost of preference. What is the cost of preference here? Cost of preference, you guys had given me a figure. You guys had given me a figure of cost of preference. Cost of preference, what do we have here? 10.53. Thank you very much. 10.53%. Plus weight of debt is here. Weight of debt is 0.1865 times, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, cost of debt that you have just obtained here. Was it 9.58? Was it 9.58? Cost of debt. Cost of debt, I'm being told cost of debt is 9.58. Let me ask you a question. Am I going to multiply this thing with 0.7 again? Am I going to multiply this 9.58 with 1 minus taxation? With 1 minus taxation? No, because already the tax adjustment was done in that big formula. The tax adjustment was already done in that big formula. So if you apply this 0.7 tax adjustment again, you'll be double counting, you'll be double counting, you'll be double counting. So then in that case, ladies and gentlemen, what is our WACC? What is our WACC? What's 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 our WACC? So get, in this case here, your calculator just slowly like that, and then you get your WACC according to Norbert Misire. It is 10.23. Somebody is giving me 10.22. We are children of the same mother. It's only that we have differences in rounding off errors, but we're children of the same mother. 10.26, others are getting 10.26. That is still good enough. So we have here 10.26% is our WACC. 10.26% is our WACC. Is our WACC. So 10.23, I'll still give you. No worries at all. No worries at all. No worries at all. No worries at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sure you must have picked great concepts out of this today's session. So in an exam, can you kindly explain to me, tell me which are those areas that are quite low hanging that you will easily harvest, because you may not be able to get everything, but what is it that is your take out of this room, of this exam room, of this, classroom, which will tell me that, Mwalimu, this one, if they bring WACC, I'll be able to see this and this and this and this and this and this. Yeah, how to get market values, how to get weights for sure, how to get weights. Weights. I mean, there is nobody in this case here who is saying, Mwalimu, I may have forgotten everything, but at least I will remember the DVM model, the dividend valuation model. I'll remember how we get PO. And of course, out of PO now we'll remember how to get KE very easily. Very easily. You can't tell me that all of you, the only thing that you have been able to see how to get is the weights. No. There are other easy things. The Gachagwa's model, yes. Gachagwa's model, I'll never forget that. Gachagwa's model, please, wherever you meet him, tell him that there is a Mwalimu who says that he has already a model. He's a professor. Proportions of the total market values, how we get the weights. Police officer thing, yes. Police officer thing, yes. Police officer thing. So then that marks the end of our today's session. I'll be having this evening classes. I'm surprised I could get this kind of a number. I'm surprised I could get this kind of a number. I mean, are you guys still at your workplaces or have you reached home? Have you guys are still at your workplaces or have you reached home? Because I would want to make a decision. I would want Nico Joe Bado office. So do you think in this case here, if I organize classes at 5:30 for our students in this case here who are working, just 30 minutes, 30-minute classes, 30-minute classes, not very long, because they are low hanging. Now I've started the low hanging fruits concept. Low hanging fruits concept. Hii mwaka tumesema lazima tu force vitu. Lazima tupite. Kila semester ni kupita, kuna kuanguka. Mark timing tumekataa. Will that be very good? Just 30 minutes? Itatujenga, okay. Oh, great. Iko sawa. Just 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Very well. Good. 30 to 40 minutes every day. But now remember, those classes will be for students. In this case, it will be in our paid up groups. You need to pay us. We are in business. Would want in this case here to be business in the longest term ever. So we are charging, currently we have an offer for these CPAs. We are charging CPA papers is 4,000 per paper. Per paper, like that. The FM, AFM, FR, whatever, those are 4,000. In this case here for BDA, business data analytics, of course, in this case here, we are charging 7,500 for this paper, all right? And of course, our pay bill is 62, 42, 839. Account number, you write the paper you are paying for. If you are paying for BDA, you write there BDA. If you are paying for FM, and you are paying in this case here for FR, but of course, if you are paying for the two, it will be 8,000. Then the good thing with us, ladies and gentlemen, is that you will be able to pay in 2 installments. Whatever model you take, you will be able to pay in 2 installments. Today, you pay the first installment. Next month, you clear up. You clear up like that. So this will really be of great help to you and ourselves so that you can remain afloat in this business like that. Like BDA, the students who are here, of course, you can see that our numbers in BDA are huge. I think even in class, you're talking of 390, not thereabout. At the morning, we have, say 100, all right? And then, of course, there are those students who are doing what, studying on themselves through the videos, all right? Great number. Why do we have that great number? There is one strength that we have that no other college can match. We are able to motivate our students, in this case, especially BDA, to get into some discussion platforms that no other college can do. That's why even BDA at times I can disappear even for a month. But when I come back and I'm able at times to attend, in this case here, those trainings that these students are doing. And of course, we have got other colleagues who are very good, who are helping Mwalimu here to teach, like Omondi, like Kosar, great people, all right? So in this case here, the discussion group especially, the students are able to organize themselves. These are about 500 students. They organize themselves into great discussion groups. At the end of the day, they are able to do wonderful things, wonderful things, wonderful things. Am I saying the truth? The BDA students who are here, is that a very big strength? Is that a very big strength? Is that a very big strength? Low hanging, Onyango sasa tumeanza. Ukilipa hii 4,000, sasa tumeanza low hanging. Hata si leo nimeanza, over a week nimekuwa nikifunza this low hanging. Like group consolidation, Now students here are quite comfortable with group consolidation. All right? Nishaanza low hanging sasa. Low hanging, yes. Yes, we'll be able to upload the videos, yes. The other advantage that we have as a RCM is this LMS. Especially for the BDA students, we have a very big software, a very big resource where we have been able to put, for example, questions. Students will be able to do tests there, the cuts automatically there. And once they do those cuts there, the system marks for them automatically. All right. It's a system, no other college, not even, I was almost mentioning names, but they don't have it. That is the thing. They don't have it. All right. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I am really, really grateful. I'm really grateful. Thank you very much. And again, for your lunch. Today, for some reason, wanafunzi walisema mwalimu leo umejitolea sana. Tunakutumia 100. Imagine from nowhere. I don't know how it came to this amount. This mwalimu is super blessed. Super blessed. 12,000 namna hiyo. Iko ingine kwa natuma 500, 1,000. But now, that was lunch for mwalimu. It was one off. Now we are not giving mwalimu anything. Now we are okay. Now mwalimu should be able to give back. Otherwise, thank you very much. Be blessed as, of course, we make RCM Online College the most popular college in East Africa for CPA and other courses. Bye. Bye. Bye.